Our guests, there are a few statistics on Bahubali the beginning that we want to share with you. The film was shot for 380 days. This is Bahubali the beginning. It has more than 4,500 VFX shots which were created by more than 800 technicians. More than 2,000 junior artists participated in the war scenes. Bahubali the beginning crossed the 100 crore mark at the box office in 36 hours.
So folks, let's please give a rousing welcome to one of India's most visionary storytellers, S.S. Rajamouli.
To all of you, this really must seem like a giant reunion, all of you in one place after all the time you spent together, but I'm guessing you're probably happy to not be in costume for a change.
Yeah, probably the star should answer the question.
That's the first time someone has asked us this, and that's something which has been such an important and a very tiresome part of our 4 years. The costumes, the makeup, and all that. I guess after Bahubali, whatever we wear, we know that will be the most lightest costume. Nothing is going to tax us as much as that has.
So, Rajamouli sir, we have to start with you. I have to ask you on behalf of us two and every single person in this room and outside of this room, I mean the nation does need to know. Bahubali ne, Tamannah Bahubali ko kyun? I mean, you're not going to tell us, I know that, but give us a hint of what we'll see in Bahubali, the conclusion.
Actually, he's revealing that point in part 3.
Oh, dear. How much longer do we have to wait?
It's just a joke. It's a joke.
So give us a hint of what we're going to see in the conclusion.
See, you are asking me the question, you are asking me to answer, and there's a gauntlet in between.
That's why you made him sit here, right? But little bit, what will you see?
That is the crux of the whole story, so obviously cannot reveal the the heart. It is the heart of the whole story.
But is it going to be a lot of emotion, or are we going to go into action? What is the conclusion? What's the sort of dominant note of the conclusion?
The first part has been more about establishing the characters, establishing the premises, and getting them into the mood, and the actual unraveling of the plot, the emotions. Everything comes in the second part. But like I like telling my stories, all the emotions may be larger than life.
You said, Mr. Rajamouli, that the theme that drives the Bahubali films is a sense of honor. Can you talk more about that? We're trying every trick to get to. I mean, we have to make some breakthrough today.
And try every trick to avoid that. See, there are some things which immediately connects to you emotionally. Whenever you hear a national anthem, no matter where you are, what place you are, what situation you are, you get the goosebumps and the tears run through your eyes. That is because we are loyal to our land, to our earth, to our water. That's what loyalty is, and that's what honor is. Honor somehow I try to get it into, try to get that emotion into my films, and I think Bahubali is the film which I could succeed more than my previous films, getting that armor and loyalty into the film.
Prabhas, I have to ask you, but the characters you play in this film, Amaravathi and Bahubali, are fascinating, but even so, how do you stay interested in these two men over 3-4 years of prep and shoot? Were there just days when you said, yeah, I don't want to be Bahubali?
Yeah, like sometimes I felt like after 3.5 years, 2 years, I felt like maybe I should try something else. The most interesting part is like Rajamouli, after every 4-5 days, he tries to show you a big visual video. It's such a big set, you need to walk from like a kilometer away and see what, such a big set. Yeah, and he starts telling about one scene and he's like, you didn't tell me this in part 1. Yeah, it was small but I made it bigger. Oh, okay. so it's like the interesting part is like it's because of Rajamouli we could sustain it, because even if it's interesting, it's a very big hit. After some time you feel like, okay, let me try something else. But last like 3-4 days back he told us some new scene about the interval vlog, which he told us like in a way it's very nice that time, but something he changed. He always changes it, makes it better every day. In the shoot, in the editing room, every day. So when he told us the scene, it is like, when did you think all this? It was actually, we should shoot for like 4-5 days. I asked Shobhagaran, how many days are you shooting it? He said, 4 days, that's it. Max 5 days. We shot for almost 15 days. So he excites us, the whole team. So it is because of Rajamouli and the coolest person here, Shobhu, we could do this.
So he gets you excited and he lies a little bit.
See, Rajamouli, he always like tries to create, he wants more, he wants to, he has a lot of burden, whole nation is waiting for his answer. So, and Shobhu is that cool guy who's like, no, don't worry, it's okay, it's okay. So this is a combination that's helping us a lot.
One of the most amazing things about the story is that even though it is very much about the clash of the two men, the women are very instrumental to the story. They're very powerful. Did playing Devsena and Avantika alter you as people? I mean, alter you as people. I mean, just being in those characters for so long. Under the skin of those characters?
Alter, no. I wouldn't say it altered me, but there's a lot of things that I picked up. If you see whether Shivagami's character, Avantika's character, Devasena's character, the shades which have been taken, you see any women out there, women have that strength. The way he's portrayed that in terms of emotions, in terms of whether it's physical strength, how graceful they are. Each one is, I feel it's been shown so much more larger that each time when I think about it, I feel, okay, that somewhere each and every person deep down has those qualities, each one out there. Maybe that's what's influenced me. I think they're very, very powerful characters.
In my case, actually, my character has really influenced me a lot, because when I was cast for this part, prior to that, all the films I had done always had me in a very dainty image, and it was always very pretty, the girl next door. And here Rajamouli sir is narrating me a character which comes out with a sword and is also brave and has to fight at some point a 6-foot Prabhas and has to look convincing while doing that. 6'2" to be precise. For me, now whenever I am put up on a rope, or if I have to jump from somewhere, I've done Bahubali, I can jump from there. And whenever I have to do anything brave, it doesn't stop me, because it reminds, the process was a difficult process, and incidentally whenever I was shooting my parts, we were either in Bulgaria in -10 degrees, or we were in Mahabaleshwar in full on torrential rain, and it was it was always something new was happening, and I was completely unprepared for this kind of an ambience. Of course, Prabhas and Anushka and Rana had been shooting for the film for 1.5 years before I came on board. So for me, this Bahubali has changed my the way I look at myself actually, and even the whole pretty look that I had in the film. Unfortunately, everybody after this film wants me to wear the same costume. So much so it almost looks like it's come from the Bahubali set and people haven't made new costumes. So you have really influenced my life a lot. So thank you, it's been great. I love it. I'm like, I know the answer. And the strange part is, how I came to know the answer. I'm one of the lucky few, of course, who know the answer. But I came to know a day before the release, when Prabhas and I were sitting. And we were, the film was about to come out the next day. We were in Delhi doing some promotions. And we were like, we don't know what people are going to think in Mumbai. We don't know how people are going to accept the film. It's so different. It's such a new space to be in. And that's when casually we were told, why Katappa killed Bahubali? And the next day when I was at the screening, and everybody was like, why Katappa killed Bahubali? Why Katappa killed Bahubali? I was like, I know the answer.
Mr. Rajamouli, feel free to casually mention it. Outside this room.
But tell me, how have you even not let it go outside the unit? You are a massive unit. And the truth is,
he has a very loyal team. All of us.
Did you guys never want to tell, like, I don't know, your parents or your family?
His entire family who's also come here today, and they're lovely people, and they're all a part of the film. From Rama Garu, who is Rama ma'am is Rajamouli sir's wife. She's done the costumes. There's Prashanti, who's also done the costumes. So we have so many people who are all his family. There is his son, who is the main AD on set. So it's all family making a film, and they're so organized. I've been on so many sets, but it's Bali Garu, who's the EP of the film, and it's amazing how organized they are, and they're in such. I've never seen. Let's not do this, or they have an argument. I've never seen them having an argument, which I find really, really amazing, because normally even in families there'll be some argument, but they never have an argument, and they're always in sync and synchrony, and it's like poetry. Shooting is like a poetry in their set.
And of course, smiling, presiding of all this poetry is Mr. Shobhu, who's just always smiling. Shobhu, is there some secret meditation mantra? Like, what is it? I mean, hundreds of crores being spent. Yeah, how do you do it?
I forced every day. I'm told that I should meditate, I should do yoga. Because in my house, everybody does meditation except me. So no, I don't meditate, but I think it's just, I don't know.
And so when the two movies are being made and your budgets are going up, like nothing, not a flicker of concern.
No, there is, obviously. But you get to deal with it in a way that, in a logical and rational way, where you try to see that what are we doing, and how is it helping the project, and what do we get out of this. So I think in a logical way, if you process the information, that fear slowly subsides, and then so it's going on behind the.
But you ever said no to him for anything?
Did I say no to him?
Yeah. Has he ever asked for something so nutty that you said, nahi yaar?
I don't think.
He should answer.
Yeah. Just 3-4 days before the release of the 1 week before the release of the first part, I asked him to postpone the date. He said no. That's why I said no, we're going on July 10th. That's it. If there's some blue screens, that's okay.
Now, we do want to continue with the conversation, but we've got a very, very, very big surprise for all the Bahubali fans in this room and everyone who's watching it live. Bahubali, the conclusion, the team of Bahubali here is going to reveal the very first poster of Bahubali 2. It's the first time you are the first audience in the world, the first audience in the world who will see the poster of Bahubali 2, the conclusion. Should we?
And
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. You're all seeing it for the first, including them.
And that is the Team Bahubali's gift for Prabhas' birthday.
Exciting?
Yeah. Prabhas, how does that feel?
Very nice. Even I saw this now.
How long did it take to get into, I mean, you're in great shape. Did you have to work especially hard for that?
I should say he has been working for years. Years. It's not just he got this kind of physique for Bahubali film. Amaravathi Bahubali, who is about 100 kilos, and Mahendra Bahubali, who is 87, 88 kilos. The work he put on was tremendous. Tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
100 kilos is quite easy also to be 100 kilos. Some of us are 100 kilos.
But a different time.
Without that much effort. Yeah, to both of you, Mr. Rajamouli, Mr. Shobhu, has the success of the first film changed the narrative of the second? Did you wait to see how the first film was received when you were planning or scripting the second or getting into the second, certainly?
No, neither the story nor the plot points nor the narrative changed, because it was one story from beginning to end. It is one story. It's not a sequel. It's a continuous story. But after the release of the first film, we tightened the action sequences. We amped up the action sequences. Except for that, everything is the same.
Prabhas, we read, he was talking about how long you prepped for the body, but I read somewhere that you and Rana consume 40 egg whites daily.
Not 40, but something like 20 sometimes.
So were the two of you comparing notes while you were shooting, that who's got bigger biceps and who eats more egg whites, and how did this work? And what did you ladies do when all this was going on?
So once Rajamouli sir asked me for my part, he had to lose weight because of me, and I had to put on weight because of him. So it was like an exchange. I hope there was an easier way to do this, where we just exchange the fat and the muscle, if there was any kind of possibility of doing that. But well, it was some weird process we were trying to achieve.
Rajamouli sir, you describe yourself as a very good storyteller, but not a good filmmaker. You said that repeatedly, haven't you? Why would you say that? And I don't know, do you agree?
No.
For the fact when I tell a story, I'm supremely confident. I'm very, very confident, and I know I can blow away people when I'm telling the story itself. But I'm making a film. When I'm making a film, in each and every process, I have 100,000 doubts. Whether is this correct? Whether if I put a trolley, is the trolley correct, or should I go more tight, or should I go more loose, or should I make the artist go in a different way? Should I treat the scene in a different way? On the editing table, I change it 100 times, back and forth. I keep adding shots, keep deleting shots. So I'm always doubting myself as a filmmaker, but as a storyteller, I'm always very sure of myself. So that's all I can say.
You know, of course, one of the most talked about aspects of the film was the VFX. I mean, it showed us things that we've never seen in an Indian film before. And you both said shortly after the film's release that you wanted to take the VFX a notch higher with the conclusion. Do you think you've been able to do that?
I think we'll know in 6 months, 4-5 months. Yeah, but yeah, that's the attempt. That's what we're trying to do. Is to ensure that whatever little glitches that we had in the first part are actually the things, the VFX, the glitches are more to do with time.
and less to do with money and talent. So we are
almost all the VFX interesting scenes earlier, all of them are shot. Whatever little shooting is left doesn't have any VFX, so we gave much earlier for the studios. So we are on the right track.
What's it like since the first film came out? For you all specifically as actors, I mean, do you find that you're constantly being asked, I mean, apart from that one question, just what's going to happen, what's it like, does everyone in the family and friends want to come to the set? I mean, what's it like? How has life changed after the first film?
They all want to know where are those waterfalls.
Right.
And I'm like, those waterfalls were not there behind me while I was shooting. So many, actually a lot of security at the airport. They have these very intriguing questions about where did you shoot the film, and because of course there was so much VFX involved. And the beauty is that this film is has a world of its own. So yeah, we get questions about mostly locales. I think that's what has come about to me, and of course, we all look so different, right? We all look so different from the way we really look. So everybody was really intrigued as to how we actually achieved the look. Like I had to tan myself 10 shades darker, and every time I would come out and I'd show the cameraman my face, like, no, you got to change, you get your skin tone down a little bit. Because I'm somebody who's born and kind of raised in a forest, so I'm not going to be looking all glamorous. So, but yeah, I mean, the physical change was one part which people keep asking about, and the locales.
Anushka?
Firstly, I would say that each and every character, each one of us, we were characterized in such a way, more than whether it's Anushka, it's Prabhas, Tamannah, each and every one of us were transformed as per what the character is required. So that was very, very clear from day one when Rana and Prashanti, all of them, they made sure that there is an advantage because when he wrote the script, they did a lot of prep work on that, and I think the characters are transformed so well today. It's nice to see that when I go somewhere, they don't call me Anushka. That people who've not seen me, and they address me as Devasena. I think that's the first winner I feel we've achieved as an actor and for the character. And another thing was I never ever even imagined the scale that it would reach. You always have it. Like when he narrated the script and he was talking to us about the sets, I still have this image that we're going to have big sets because he thinks big always. So I'm like, okay, fine, it's going to be big. But the first time I entered the set, that was the palace set, and I just saw the scale, and that was just a small part of the set. And that's when the first time I felt so intimidated by the set. And leave apart the characters, the characterization. So I feel that was one more thing that intimidated, and that's something which even a lot of people spoke about. Even all the things that intimidated us was also what intimidated the audience. And again, the reach. I feel that's every part. So many different countries when you're traveling on other shoots, and everyone recognized Bahubali. It's just become like such a common household name all over. So I think that's something I never expected.
But is it tough to work against green screen and the VFX? I mean, as actors, did you have trouble emoting sometimes?
No, actually, in the set it's more exciting. But it doesn't matter actually, because most of the time we romance with camera in front of us. So I think green man behind us doesn't actually affect much.
Because, Anushka said when we go on other shoots, I was asking, how many films have you had to give up so you could just complete Bahubali?
See, we know like one Bahubali is equal to 100 films. I knew it. Yeah, so many people ask me that question. Like in between, I had 5-6 months gap. So even I thought like maybe I'll start a film, stop, and again. So I'll get that variation. In between, maybe if I do some other character, maybe I can do a better job in part 2 or something like that. But I thought like I'm disturbing both the films. So I thought I'll take this. I wanted that risk because I had done so much of action scene. So like I was like maybe 150 days or 200 days apart from we did action, so much of action. So I took some gap, and yeah, that question a lot of people ask like what you should have in between do something or try to do something else or something. But I think it doesn't work like that for Bahubali.
That reminded me of something, talking about the action, 200 days of action. Even for part 2, we were shooting not the action sequences, just the songs or the normal scenes. From the beginning of this year until now, we didn't have in one scene where we didn't have the stunt choreographer on the sets. Each and every scene had one small or big some kind of action involved in it. And he's the best guy with the ropes. He understands the action so well. He understands the action so well that he gives different kind of performances depending on the scene.
Individual streams
It might be just a jumping and kicking, but it's an emotional way he does it differently. It's a fun way he does it differently. He understands the emotion of action very well. That's a big boon of having Prabhas on a film like an action film like Bahubali. And you're asking the most, what are the questions that people ask you? Of course, we know what are the questions people ask us. The most unexpected question came for me this morning when I was going in a lift. I was traveling in a lift and the bellboy was staring at me for some time, and he said, "Sir, you are Kattappa, right?" He asked me. I said, "Yes." Did you recognize me? Of course, sir. He said,
Tell me, Mr. Rajamouli, I read about how after 2.5, 3 years, there's a certain fatigue that sets in. It's natural, it's very hard work to create something like this. And you have talked in interviews about how it was up to you to keep everyone's spirits up and to keep this team together. How did you keep your own spirits up? I mean, how did you just keep going?
For any other film, I don't have to try to keep my spirits up because the maximum I have done is a film for 2 years, so it was okay for me. The time frame was okay for me. But for Bahubali, it was much more than that. The stakes were very, very high. The physical stress was very high. But I didn't do anything especially to keep the spirits up. I think now there is no fatigue at all. I'm talking about before the release of the first film. After the release of the first film, after the humongous success, there is no more fatigue. We will happily carry on. Before the release of the first film, it was, I think, the fear of failure kept the spirits up rather than anything else. We couldn't afford to fail with the first part.
So you just didn't allow yourself to be tired?
No.
That's amazing.
All the actions have how many wounds, how many broken bones?
I have gone through a surgery, shoulder. It is like not because of Bahubali, but I've been doing a lot of action scenes. Like gone worst after in between the war. We had to stop it for 2-3 months and again start. And some small here and there, even Tamannah would have got hurt. That is, we shouldn't talk about in Bahubali.
He's really going very low on what he's gone through. He's pretty much damaged everywhere after this film. And I think the kind of action this film involves, I can't, honestly, I can say it on this platform very honestly, I don't think anybody else can do it. Because the kind of effort and it's pure passion, and he does it with a smile every time. I'll be seeing him going up 30 feet up and 50, then I'm like, he's still up, he's somewhere in the sky, and he's still smiling from there. And that's what I think makes him, makes him him and makes him Bahubali in every way. So it's a lot to do with him. Yeah.
Shobha, what do you think it is? I mean, what do you think it is that they're all so invested? I mean, is it just the love for this man's dream? Is it it being invested in this passion project that you've been working on for so long? What is it that makes everyone defy logic in a sense?
Definitely Rajamouli, sir. Any day.
Rajamouli.
You can just put your hands down.
Rajamouli and Shobu. Yes, definitely. Without
the vision that he has, and that I think that energy transfers when everybody is there, and not just the cast, even the technicians. I mean, like Sabu sir, Sendil, but everyone, each and everyone, all the technicians. Sabu has moved from Bombay. He's set up a home in Hyderabad for the last 4 years, and that's completely because when Sabu started, I'm just giving as an example. We first met Sabu. I know Sabu for a long time, but when we just got introduced to Rajamouli and all that, it took me a while. But the moment he heard the story and then started working with, see, when he heard the story, he still liked the story, but there was a doubt. Oh, you're telling me a story. A lot of people tell me a great story, but how much are you going to really pull through in all this that you're saying? You know, there's always a doubt that, okay, in halfway you'll say there's not money for this, we don't need to do this, then this, you know, and it starts coming down by the end of it. So, but for him, and it reflects on all technicians and all the cast, I think it was that the scale kept going up, and they were doing things that were never done before. And this is one chance that they had to show their talent, you know, in all ways. And I think that kept going, and that started with Rajamouli, and everybody got that.
And the love and the dedication to the project, I know it's only us who's here, but without us being around, even if you go to the smallest of technicians, whether it's the small lighteners, the set boys and all of them, we've been working with Rajamouli and the family for years, I think from his first movie almost. They share the same passion. And even I'm sure they wouldn't tell you why
Were you surprised? I want to ask all of you this actually. Were you surprised by the massive success of the film outside of the Telugu markets, outside of the Tamil markets? Were you surprised by the Hindi success of this film? And were you nervous about that before the release?
Yeah, of course, we were nervous about it. That is because of the high stakes. Because of the high stakes, we were nervous.
And also because it's unprecedented, right? No film has done that.
Yes.
I mean, no film has crossed over in such a successful manner.
Exactly. We were nervous. Obviously, we were nervous, but see, we invested so much of time and money into the project, and the only way we could get all that back is by succeeding in all the areas, not just the speaking states, in all the areas. So that is the reason why we invested. So it is not a surprise that the money came back. What was surprising was the speed at which it caught the attention of the nation. We thought we know it would obviously do well in the Telugu speaking states because of his fan following or the superstardom, whatever. We knew what the fate of the film in Telugu speaking industry. But nationwide, we thought slowly the word of mouth will spread and people then will come to watch it. Then they will look at the scale of the film, then they will like it. That was our line of thinking. But by the first weekend, it was like wildfire. So that was surprising for me.
You know, I want to hear a little bit from the actors about what he's like on set, because every time I've met him, he's smiling. This is the smiling too sermon. So, what is he actually like on set? Does he give very detailed instructions? Does he ever lose his temper?
Temper, no. He's,
Never.
Not with us. It's never. But he definitely takes a lot of care of details, and very patiently he makes sure he gets what he wants. You don't have a choice. And
is he stern?
He's that's stern in terms of what he wants. If there's chaos on the set, yes, but never. How do I put it now? I would say that if he wants to get, let me put it this way actually. If the most comforting thing for me when I work with him, the trust factor, the loyalty, what I speak about is, if I need to do a shot, I just don't need to worry, because he'll be the first one. If we have a rope work, he'll be the first one to go put on the ropes and try the shot, make sure it's comfortable, make sure it's safe, it's not going to hurt you. He'll do a few rehearsals and get everything sorted, and that's when we are put in. And then once he knows that we are secure, we are safe, then he's a taskmaster then, and he'll make sure that he gets what he wants. And so maybe stun in that way, but never to a point where it annoys anyone, never to a point. It's more inspiring actually to see, every take. If ever I've had a doubt, even if I can ask him like 100 times, and he explains that with the same patience, if it's work, yes.
Let me tell you a secret. Let's stop the question there. Actually, I'm a big manipulator and make them feel that I take very good care of them. I can tell that now because the shooting is almost over. So it's good that they feel like that about me.
I just want to say one thing with. I have to say it. And this is the first time I'm getting the opportunity to speak all my feelings out about it, so I must. He has the most precise instructions. He will say literally four, maybe 3 or 4 lines, and that will sum whatever you're supposed to do. The rest I've always just looked at his face and waited for a reaction, and that's when I know, okay, is it good, is it not good? And for me, I was working with him for the first time. Prabhas has worked with Sir before, and Anushka has worked with Sir before. But for me, it was the first time. I always heard about how how he transforms people. For me, what was more beautiful is how effortlessly he did that. I didn't even believe that I could do my part. I in fact gave him a very one scare call one day prior to the shoot, and I said, "Sir, how am I supposed to do this? What is going to happen? Can we do this a little later?" I even got to that, but he was like, "No, we just come to set. You'll be just fine." And it's just his calm and his peace which kind of comes on to us, and we start feeling the faith and the feeling of security with all the madness that's going around. I remember this one sequence which was in torrential rain, and it's raining the whole day. There was a 15-minute gap twice or thrice in the day. That's where we would shoot. And Raj sir would patiently wait for the rain to stop, and we would shoot. And I think any other filmmaker would have said, let's pack up, let's shoot when there's no rain. But nothing stops him. Nothing can stop a Rajamouli shoot. I think I can say that very, very confidently. And he's just, I think God favors the brave, they say. So everything touchwood goes in the flow it should go, because he just does it with so much passion.
First, want to add to that?
I want to say something. He does shout in the set. Because there's such huge set somewhere behind, one elephant is turning back, and some horse is not right, some helmet is not right. He definitely shouts, and he's half the time looking in the sky and all. What Tamannah and Sweetie said is right, but he's into the film sometimes. So yeah.
The only things that bear the burnt of my anger are the mics. So that's
the film is unlike any other in terms of its ambition, in terms of the vision that you have for it. And it's no longer just a film, it's a franchise. There's going to be, of course, the sequel. There's going to be offshoots. There's the virtual reality, which is a big, huge part of it. And every single one of you should check out the Bahubali VR teaser, which is outside. You can put on
It's amazing.
It is spectacular. We just saw it. It's spectacular. You absolutely must see it. It's going to be there all of today and all of tomorrow as well. There's also upstairs at the Samsung Lounge, you can watch the making of Bahubali. It's just terrific. This is stuff that you will not see. No other film has achieved it. You're really positioning this as the big event picture, isn't it? Can you talk about that? What the plans really are?
Yeah, the idea is that the Bahubali is like a world of Bahubali, and we created this world of Bahubali even before the first one, and it had everything to do with the backstories. It's like a Bible, like a kingdom really existed, and what their stories were and everything else. Not just the story of the film. So from this came one film and second film, but from that also we are now making it into comics. We have an animated television series, then the VR. With some of the best partners that you can work with. We're working with AMD, the animation, and this with Graphic India, which is going to be premiered on Amazon Prime. So live action television series, and then so it's all these are not mine. All of us, me and Rajamouli, which we believe that it's not to market the film. It's not to promote the film. We don't need something to promote the film. Neither we are nor any of this stuff. these are independent revenue generating streams that they independently stand on their own in that particular platform. And we believe there are stories within the world that are adaptable to these platforms. And we want these stories to live in those kind of platforms. So some are for comics, some are for animation. So you want to make it like a tentpole that lives on for some time.
Frankly, this is a vision bigger than Peter Jackson's for Lord of the Rings, because even that was kind of restricted to this film. Are you excited?
So at this point, we're going to invite film director Shakun Batra, who's of course a big VR enthusiast, who's going to discuss this thrilling new avenue that Bahubali is venturing into with the team. We also want to call on stage Mr. Raja Koduri from AMD, Senior VP and Chief Architect, Radiant Technologies Group. In simple terms, he's the man responsible for many of the technological breakthroughs involving Bahubali.